Hey y'all, what's good? I'm back at it again with some more Gundam ranked, I said it before, I say it again, this game is pretty fire if you're into mechs and stuff like that. I recently figured out too that mesh mech has no effect on PvP, so, even though that's like kind of like the big, in my opinion, the big, what kind of like ties it to Gundams and like what I think would be a big draw, it's not the case, but it's whatever. I feel like this game has so much for everybody. So long as you're a fan of like Gundam and stuff like that. If you like PvP just in general, you like PvP shooters, like I'd say this game has a very different form of PvP.
Double kill.
Just to explain it, because I feel like I've gotten pretty far in the ranks now. The PvP is essentially very heavily based off of movement. That's how you dodge probably 90% of like what people throw at you, no matter what it is. Cause the lock-on system, unless you're trying to be like me and you're like trying to hit the people without relying too heavily on the lock-on system, it still can be a challenge if they have really good evasion, really high evasion. The planes in this game are so annoying, especially for my mech in particular, because if two of them gang up on me, or if I like barely escape a scuffle with one, and another one pulls up, like there's barely anything I can do. And if I can get the outplay, I don't know, it can feel pretty. It feels pretty good when you get an outplay with Narukami, I'll say that. But there are a lot of instances where it's hard to survive, especially when people gang up on you, right? I feel like that's like the glaring weakness to this mech in particular, is just how frail she is. But yeah, she's kind of like easy to find too, because of like how sensory types work and all that stuff. But like, I don't know, I still think she's a pretty good mech overall. The matches I'm going to show you guys today are just going to be the best of the recording. It was like a 16-hour recording, so guys, please drop a like. I enjoyed every match, but some of the matches were fucking abysmal. Like, if you're playing a sniper and you have to constantly fight people with automatic shit and missiles, and they try to jump you and stuff, it really does feel like there's not a whole lot you can do. Because like, again, your gun, you have like what I think auto Narukami has like 10 shots, her sniper shot has 3 or 4, and like that's so abysmal. Like, you have to give the enemy player so much time to operate, right? Don't get me wrong, the shadow clones double your shot or whatever, but again, you have to wait for the lock-on to function. You have to give time when they don't really have to, in my opinion. I got shot from the side. There's another sniper. But that's fine. Like, I like counter sniping a lot too. Like, that's just something I do enjoy doing, but it's frustrating when the sniper has support. Like, I feel like Narukami shines when she works in tandem with her team. Like, this is a very big team oriented game, right? So by people who pull up in games with like friends to play, you're definitely gonna have like easier time than the solo players like myself. So, I've played many games where I shoot one guy and I kill that guy, right? And the next time he revives and chases me down with like a friend, and it's kind of annoying, because again, as a sniper with very low like magazine capacity, fighting two people can be very irritating, especially because the drones aren't that hard to get rid of, which is another reason why I feel like her magazine capacity should at least be a little bit higher. Look, I'm fighting another sniper, and then I get shot from the side by a different sniper. See, you see what I'm saying? Like,
Enemy carrier down.
and at that point, it's kind of just like you're wondering what your team's doing and stuff like that. It's just, you know, you can only do what you can, right? And what I can do is make sure I get my kills immediately and rotate, right? Because the biggest thing with snipers, and this is why I don't play the heavy sniper,
Ready for
because from what I
deployment.
noticed, he kind of just like stays in the air a lot, I believe, and
Narukami.
I just don't
Moving in to
think
provide
it's
cover.
smart to be out in the open as a sniper. Even though Narukami, what her main goal is to kind of play on the edges of things or play like out
Assist.
of immediate attention. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like if you're a sniper and you're just floating in the air and you can just stay in the air shooting, like I could, like you're literally just like a bird. You know what I'm saying? I can shoot you out the sky real, like kind of easily, so long as like, you know, they're not sticking their teammates on me. You know what I mean? Again, like in the higher echelons of this game, I feel like communication is gonna be is so crucial. And don't get me wrong, I think there are like chat options, like you can like hot mic it and shit, but like, you know, like to be honest, man, I don't really want to even do that shit.
Assist.
I,
Weapon
like
activated.
I go through so much bullshit being a black person already. I'm just trying to enjoy my time. If I fucking join up in a game and all of a sudden it's on racism and shit, like I don't want to deal with it. You know what I mean? So I just keep to my goddamn self and play my game. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a sniper with my headphones on, listen to fucking hard rap and heavy metal while I shoot people in the face. You feel me? Like that's just what I'm gonna do. If I see somebody and I can help them, I'ma help them. If I don't see nobody and I'm just picking off stragglers, then that's what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying?
Enemy down.
But suffice it to say, like again, if you guys are like cool as
30
fuck
seconds.
and y'all need like a dead eye, hit me up because I need people to rank with. Because by the end of this recording, like I get pretty far in the rankings. I want to kind of see what the end looks like, or like what the next rank looks like after the one that I'm at. But again, the elo I'm in right now is very sweaty. A lot of educated people, a lot of people using a lot of strong mechs. You know, again, the durable ones, the ones with extra lives, the ones that feel like they can kill you in 2 shots. Like, it's very challenging to play like
Intercept now.
against them. And then if they have like good teamwork and like they're communicating with each other, it can feel a little insurmountable for me personally. Because again, like if I'm doing my job correctly, like people will notice, and then all of a sudden I have 2 to 3 people sitting on me on spawn. And it can get really challenging to again accomplish my goals as a sniper, which is good for the enemy team but bad for my team. I feel like if I can't play, like I normally lose 9 times out of 10. Like,
Optical
and
ammo deactivated.
not to say that playing as a sniper, you need to have high like damage percentage. You have to kill every target. My goal is just to weaken them to like maybe less than 25 or exactly 25-35%, and then any other mech can kill them like by sneezing on them, you know. And I get the assist. Like you guys are gonna see in my games, like some of my games I don't even get a lot of kills, bro, but I get a lot of fucking assists. It's just because that's my job, you know. As a sniper, all I gotta do is shoot your arm and your leg off, and then all of a sudden anybody else can pick you off, you know. And that's kind of like, y'all saw how I died, right? I'm literally fighting a dude, and it takes a lot to kill as like a sniper, because everybody has high mobility and all this, second and third. My gun doesn't do a lot of damage, this, second and third. So, you know, just getting picked off can happen really easily, especially because like the Dark Army's strength really lies in her clones and her charge shot. If you can't get one of those 2 things off, like it's just a harder to do what you're trying to do, right? But yeah, like also like realizing what you're. I'm like glad Narukami doesn't struggle too hard in indoor combat, because like obviously it's close up.
Key
So
secured.
like just
Provide
kind of like the
cover.
big taboo of fucking snipers. You don't want anybody in your face because that's not where you thrive. But you know, she has some ways to play indoors, which you know I do enjoy. See, look, like little bird flying in the sky. What are you doing, silly? Like I'm gonna just, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just shoot your wings off, you know? Like 9 times out of 10, if that would have kept going, I would have killed the dude, or somebody else would have killed him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's something I realized too in like higher lobbies is when they realize that there's a good sniper out, they just don't jump, and it's so annoying because then I have to get closer, and if I get closer, it's just kind of like, ugh, you know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna
MVP.
they're gonna
There's
focus
no
me as soon
escape
as they
from
see me, and
Stego's
then
barrage.
I'm on the run unless I get some team help, which is sometimes unlikely, sometimes unlikely. But yeah, like I feel like if I'm just strictly talking about the ranking system in this game, I feel like it's pretty fair. Like when you get into the higher ranks, losses seem a little bit more unforgiving. But in the lower ranks, like you could, I didn't lose a lot. Like I only lost probably one out of every like 4. But like, it's pretty forgiving. Like you don't lose too much. So it's very forgiving for the learning curve, right? But once you get to them higher ranks, you really gotta figure out like strats and like how you want to play specific maps like this one. Even though what I'm doing right now was working for me in the lower ranks, like higher ranks I can't really lean on this option too much because I feel like people are starting to understand what mechs to go for first, and it tends not to be the turrets, it tends not to be your chunky guys, it tends to be the people supporting them in the back line. So um yeah, it can get pretty sticky to say the least, right? It can get pretty sticky, especially when your team like just scatters and no one's really trying to help each other. They're just trying to save their own asses. It's just kind of like, it's ridiculous. I remember one game that I was playing, and it was pretty hard. Like they were getting 3, almost 4 kills, and we had 0, right? And we had all their mechs low, right? And so it's like, okay, now we just gotta pick them off and get like a chain kill effect, right? And then we'll get back into the game. So a crazy strat they did is they played in the center. They played in the center of the map, which had like this kind of like dome cover. They all played together and they healed. You know what I'm saying? They had a medic that healed them, and it was an unsurmountable win at that point because no one on my team could accurately think other than myself to like, okay, like let's all link up, attack from this one spot to then flush out the rats, from another angle, and then kind of like dispel the problem before they have a time to recover, right? And it didn't work out. I was like the second to last person to survive on my team after they implemented that strat, and I had to play pickoff. Like I had to kind of play like bob and weave, like I was saying in my last video, floating like a butterfly but stinging like a wasp, and I can't do a lot of crazy damage. I can't even really set up if I have to constantly switch angles, right? So yeah, this is what I was telling you guys about before, is that sometimes movement, or not sometimes, to get better in this game, you're going to have to really understand the movement in this game. Yeah, like some mechs don't, like the chunky guys, they don't really have to worry about the movement too much, but it's gonna play a factor at some point, regardless of what mech you have. It's just how durable is your mech. My mech isn't as durable, so I have to know it. I have to use it, right? But yeah, I think that no matter what mech you are, knowing it even a little bit is gonna help you out, because you can dodge missiles this way, you can dodge bullets this way. If you're already a jet pilot user, you kind of already know how valuable your aerial dodge is. But like for other mech users, it's actually just viable all around. That's why jets are so annoying, right? Because they have high mobility. That's why a lot of people, I would say, hate the jets. If you're not a jet pilot, you probably hate them a lot because they're so mobile and they're fast as shit. Like, how are you, like, genuinely, I wish that some of the aerial abilities they have were a little bit more punishable, because if they're still in your reticle and all they're doing is a gigantic donut in the air, like that shit, and there's like no reason for that to reset your auto aim, right? But again, if you have good aim and you work on it, you can definitely just shoot them out of the donut. I've done it before, but like it's hard because again, you're a nanosecond off, and they're gonna just flip over the shot. You know what I'm saying? On some hardcore pilot shit. So yeah, I was trying to think of the show, but I can't remember the show about it. It's like an Air Force show. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But yeah, you know, as a sniper, you know, I'm always thinking about setting up unless I'm like really forced to play the objective. Which, like, don't get me wrong, there are some times where I do play the objective, but that's when I feel like I have to. It's like a clutch situation, because like again, if I'm like, the people who should really be on the objective are the tankier guys, because that's where people are going to be predominantly aiming and shooting at, right? And it makes no sense in my mind to put the squishy guys on the objective. Like, the chunky people who can take shots need to just sit on that shit and fucking just play their game, because that's what you guys are good at. You guys are good at sitting down, bunkering down, and doing whatever the fuck you want to do. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that they want to go out and play chase, it's like, dude, you're not even built for that, for real. Like, I've had so many games where tanks don't want to play defensive, they want to go on the offense, which is cool if like one or two goes and do that. But if there's only two on my team, like, what are we doing? And then now all the other people have to push the objective, when like one person or like two people who are, again, a little bit more durable. There's one mech that's in this game that has 2 lives essentially. If they play on the offensive, like, it's a lot harder for me in particular to get them to like not do that unless I have prep time. I feel like Narukami can really does feel like Batman at a time, because with prep time she can probably shit on just about anybody. But again, the jets can be really annoying because they can just instantly get rid of my clones. It makes no sense. Like, I just want the clones to be a little bit more durable, or again, Narukami be a little bit harder to find. But again, sensory types are a thing, so yeah. See, this is just effective game plan. Like, if they don't focus the snipers, like, it's just a great time, right? But if there are a lot of snipers in game, like, and there's only one sniper on the enemy team, it can be pretty annoying to deal with. I can say that from experience, right? Y'all saw it before, right? How I was getting chased down and sniped by 2, so it can be pretty annoying.
Warning, you are leaving the combat zone. MVP. Walking ain't something to mess with.
Yeah, you know, it is what it is, though. Gold 1, plat 5 now. Feeling good. But yeah, I don't know, like, these sorties, they always get me so hyped up because they're so reminiscent of like the actual anime in my mind, to where it's just like, it's so hard for me to like hate on any part of this game, you know, because again, I really did fuck with the show heavy. It's probably one of my top 3 favorite genres, maybe top 2. I don't look at this. I get jumped on start. When I'm in situations like this, I normally just look for my team and I kind of just try to back up to them. Here I'm trying to be a little bit more tenacious, but again, if I don't see like healers on my team, I really try not to get jumped or attacked very often. In these situations, especially because this game mode, I don't think there are any like random heal spots you can find. Look, this man could go invisible too, and I feel like it's like automatic invisibility too, where he doesn't. It's not like ability; it's a passive. So it's kind of really fucking annoying to deal with this guy, because he could just sneak up on you, and this is one of those mechs that feel like if he gets 2 clean hits, you die. So there's another mech that I'm thinking about who's also a melee type that if he hits you, he's like a samurai. He has like this after image cut effect to where you're like, he does like tick bleed, and like he can like tether to you or some shit, and it's just so annoying trying to get away from. This is one of the 15-day mechs that are in the store. And don't get me wrong, I actually kind of think that mech is cool. Like, if anything, that would be my second mech I try to main. But I've tried a couple of other mechs because this game forces you to play other mechs for some fucking reason. I don't understand why I can't have two Narakamis on a team. Probably because that probably ruin the team. But if I had two chunky ass mechs on a team, that'd probably be broken as fuck. But anyway, yeah, like I only play like Narakami, so if I'm in ranked and when I'm forced to play like off roll, it feels like dog shit, dude. Like I do not enjoy. That's probably one of the only aspects of this game that I don't like, is that they force you to play things that you don't necessarily want to. Don't get me wrong, there's a good variety of mechs out there for everybody, but like I've tried a good amount of them and they're all kind of ass. Like they're not my style, okay? I can say that. They're not my style, right? So like what the fuck am I gonna do? You know what I'm saying? I'm having less fun, and now I'm in a situation where like I'm gonna lose points that mean something to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, all I can do is accept it and try to learn it on the fly, you know, which is doable to an extent. But like, again, if you're not comfortable with the mech, it's just like it's clunky. It's not comfortable. You know what I mean? You know, again, if you're not used to piloting it, it's just not gonna feel right in your hands, right? So I think once I hit the next rank after the rank that I end off in this video, I think I will try harder to like learn different mechs in casual. But right now I'm just trying to get my rank grind on, because again, I've been having a lot of fun with this game. So now I just want to see what the real mech battles look like, you know. And honestly, I've been finding them. There have been some very crazy matches that I've had. Some were kind of like sweeps to help me educate myself on the real high echelon of what the game has to hold, and others were just like really wacky matches where either I'm clutching up and it's like low impact, right? I'm not doing much, but like in the moment I'm just getting people low. I'm just doing as much small chip damage as I can, and then all of a sudden at the end I clutch it up, get the last objective, and you know, my team wins off of it. Like stuff like that feels good, even though again low impact. I might have high damage, but again I might have 2 kills, maybe 1 death, 5 assists, you know. And at the higher levels, I feel like it's to be expected, right? Now a lot of people are trying to die in the higher levels. They're gonna try and stall out, and stalling out is good if the person takes the bait, but if they don't take the bait and they focus the objective, I feel like you kind of almost instantaneously go up, because if you're low, it forces you off the objective like this guy was, and you're just so easily pick offable. So yeah. But yeah, you know, like I can't speak enough about how like enjoyable this game is. Like I was talking to my older brother about this too. Like I just can't wait for the collabs to start popping up, where they start taking inspiration from other Gundams. Like if I see Kudorugi or Lelouch's Gundam of like any kind of validity in this game, I'm probably gonna main those, because those are kind of like my favorites. Lancelot, and I don't remember what Lelouch's was called. Again, I said it in my last video, if we get the one with the gigantic melting hand from the same anime in here, I'd probably main that one too, just because like why the fuck not? It's such a fun mech in the anime, and now you get to pilot it. Like of course I try it, you know what I mean? It's like a no-brainer. Also seeing like Gundams from like Gundam X or like Gundam Wing, stuff like that, like inspired. Like again, it could be really cool to see and experiment with. But right now, like again, my favorite has to be hands down Naruto. Like I don't know, I'm not even like, I used to be a sniper with, like in OG Halo,
On the front line.
like Halo 1, Halo 2, and those are like the only games I really did enjoy sniping in. I did snipe a little bit in Call of Duty, but then I turned into like a marksman rifle shooter instead of like a long range sniper or trick shotter. And yeah, like this game just kind of gives me that feel of like, you know, I just enjoy the sniping game, you know, which is again very rare for me. I haven't been like that in so long. So the fact that I found a game where I'm like, oh yeah, I enjoy it in this is very odd for me. But yeah, you know, slowly but surely moving up the ladder. Slowly but surely moving up the ladder. Alright.
Narukami. Moving in
Feeling
to provide
pretty
cover.
hot out the oven with that last game, so I'm just gonna go right into the combat, right? And this is one of the crazy parts that I realized, because I was streaming this entire 16-hour climb, right? And this is where I was running into the problem where I wouldn't load in fast enough for
First kill.
in my game. So it would be pretty kind of jarring to hear like, oh, I'm being attacked, but I can't really do anything about it. But yeah, this was the one time where I was able to kind of grab my bearings and be able to mount a small comeback, I would say so, you know. And, you know, as soon as I got it, I was back in, you know, I start putting in work immediately. Why? Because my team needs it. Looking for that other Narukami. Why? Because I'm the only one allowed to have fun, and then I get lanced.
Drone recall. Energy low.
Another thing that I think they should fix about Narukami is like when I use my second ability, the grappling hook, I don't regen energy from my jets, and it's just like I don't understand the purpose and why that happens, because I should just be able to regen because I'm not using any like boost at all to enact the ability, right? So I should just regen off of it in general. It also that'll definitely help with Narukami movement, especially because then you have another out essentially to lean on that actually gives you some sort of benefit other than janky stealth that doesn't work. And like and the stealth isn't janky just because there are sensory types. It's janky because it just generally doesn't work. People can easily find Narukami when she's stealth, regardless of if there's a clone in the area or not. There are some, like if you're an unattentive person, like there are ways to juke it, or juke the player. But if they're, you know, really, if they're using any amount of effort, it's not a challenge at all. Like look, this guy found me before I could even notice him, right? So it's like what are we talking about here? It's not the same thing. When I was first given the impression of an invisible sniper, I'm thinking, oh my god, this is gonna be so annoying and busted. But the more I realize it, it's like, nah, it's not really busted. Really, they try to make it honest, which is cool. But when you have mechs that literally can just kind of sit in front of your face and just spray their machine gun, it's like you could make it a lot stronger and like a little bit more annoying to deal with. Like the fact that when I use my camouflage field, it's a big bubble that everyone can see. In my mind, I'm like, what's the point in it? You know what I mean? If it's a gigantic camouflage bubble, but the bubble itself isn't camouflaged, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like, you can see it, you know where I'm at, so you're gonna go there, regardless of if you can shoot, regardless if you have a clear sight of the shot. You're gonna go there, you're gonna try and flush the Narukami out, and as soon as you flush the Narukami out of the bubble, the invisibility immediately wears off as soon as I start moving when it comes to that specific ability. And it's just like, what's like, there's less viability in it. But then this guy can throw me in a cage, and then it's a more favorable option for him. And I think that was the one where I think there's just one mech that just, it's so annoying to deal with him, because you go through the pain of dealing with this tankier form that's really durable, and then all of a sudden it has this, you kill it, and then all of a sudden it has this super fast, lightweight form that's again really hard to keep up with. It messes with your aim because it has after image effect, and then as soon as you get it low, like all of a sudden he puts the armor back on. It's like
There, you're the anchor.
if you're forced to, and this is what I was talking about, the hot mic thing. This threw me off because I didn't remember him saying anything in the game. I ain't gonna lie to you, but this was a map I was talking about too, where they were low, right, and they ran into the center of the map, and they all just like grouped up and they held it down. They bunkered down in the center, and it was impossible to get them out.
Let's move the trike. Trike's our anchor.
Yeah, they're talking about a trike, and I'm like, I don't see a kid's bicycle anywhere. I'm not gonna cap. Like I'm literally just playing my game, right? And then all of a sudden my whole team pulls up, and this is what I was telling you guys about earlier about how important teamwork is for this game, because again,
It's needed, alright?
like every mech has its strong suit, right? But with Unity, they all like, it becomes like a completely different ball game. It becomes a completely different ball game. Like the fact that the tank came to like give me cover fire and shit gives me so much more time to like actually figure out who to shoot. You know what I mean? And when I get chased, you know what I'm saying, all I have to do is kind of fly around my team. Hey, look, there's somebody shooting me, and then they'll either lock in on them or give me time to do what I need to do, right? We had a healer too, which is very rare. If you guys ever get a healer in your game, make sure y'all show them some love, because when you don't have a healer on your team, shit sucks. I'm gonna be honest, shit sucks. And a good healer at that, bro, like it's better than Novocaine. You know, it's better than morphine. You know. Oh my god. All the melee types are just on my ass right now. See, look, I'm trying to play to my strengths here. I have to survive. I'm not letting them mount to come back. Not easily anyway. Oh my god, the dash. If I could have gotten around that corner, I could have stalled a little longer. So ass, bro. It's so ass. That's another thing that I just need to get better at, is the movement, because in some instances you dash in one wrong direction and you will die. Like especially against some of these higher damage Gundams, these higher damage frames, is just it's so ass. Like I don't know how else to say it, man. It's rough, right? But yeah, I'm back on the board now, so I need to get rid of all the annoying players. So if I see people in turrets, if I see people in turrets, I'm just trying to get them to move off the turret function, because that shit really does bother people, right?
You got what you deserve. Optical camo activated.
Yeah.
Skyraider here.
So sometimes if I feel like people are chasing me, I will try the 1v1, because there are certain ways where you can win it, but you have to set up. You really do have to set up.
That's good job.
That was a GG's. That was probably the first real team that I ran into in the higher ranks. Everybody knew how to play their job, and when it came down to it, again, you saw the immediate link up into you know, propelling and snowballing a win. Again, I don't even think this was a high impact game for me. Again, I was just doing my job, you know, stalling out, being as annoying as possible.
Justice and salvation.
But yeah, like I personally look forward to higher level mech battles in this, for sure. Yeah, I wonder what this next sortie is gonna bring me.
Narukami.
I generally do enjoy the maps too. All the maps give their own different feels, either where
Moving in to provide
it's a
cover.
very compy feeling map, or whether it's like a map that has environmental hazards like this one. You know, they're just they give you a little bit of everything again, like, and the amount of variety that they can give with the like the elemental, like the environmental kind of maps, and the compy maps are very wide in variety in my opinion. Again, I'm just trying to see if they're gonna do a kind of like a volcano-esque map where, like, instead of like tornadoes and stuff, it's like meteors and lava explosions, and it makes it harder for you to land in certain areas and stuff like that. Maybe that won't be necessarily a ranked map, but like maybe a very fun casual map, you know. But again, it all depends on what they try to do. And since a lot of this is predominantly around flying, I could see them making a lot of space maps too, even, because like you just gotta make an invisible floor and stuff, make it look like everybody's flying permanently, but not really. You know what I mean? And it's fairly easy to make a space map with this kind of aesthetic, you know. So again, it all really depends, because like I again, I harken it back to the animes, right, where you can, where in some of the animes they're fighting on like in asteroid belts and on moons and stuff like that. So like having like an asteroid belt kind of arena where like you can use the asteroids as cover, and you know you're stopping certain distractions from bigger asteroids, which are like the POIs and stuff like that, could really be kind of like the chef's kiss, the extra salt and pepper in the game to make it like really shine more, you know. But again, it's I feel like that's like the obvious direction, but again, who knows. I went over here because I thought my team was over here, and then I realized that's not my team. That's 4 enemies, and I'm like, I am freaking screwed. But the fact that I'm living this long, I'm just kind of like, alright. But then I die here. Obviously there was someone shooting me from my back, but again, the reason why I flew over here is because I thought my team was here. I thought we were winning this side, but I was wrong. That's probably one of my glaring weaknesses, is that sometimes, especially in moments of like rush, I don't know where my team is. Like I'll be like normally where I shoot where I see my team fighting at, right? And but then when I get closer, it's just like my team wasn't there at all, and they were like, the enemy was just shooting at themselves or something. Like I don't know, it gets really wacky in my mind. So it's just like how did I get confused there? See, look. The jets are always gonna be the ones looking for me first, right? Because we're natural enemies, right? Hatfields and McCoys, bro. We have to fight, because I'm either gonna dampen on his game plan, or he's gonna just inherently dampen on mine. If he leaves me alone for too long, I will shoot him out the sky. So he has to use everything in his power to stop me. And like again, that specific Falcon is not too good at dealing with me, with my Narukami, right? I feel like there are levels to the Narakamis and the Falcons out there. There are some Falcons that are just fucking pains in my ass, and I can never get one up on them. And then there are some that I can just outplay. The matchup is always going to be in the Falcons' favor, just inherently because of their kit. But it is playable for the Narukami. So if you're a Narukami out there and you feel like the Falcon matchup is hard, you just gotta get a little bit better, understand how you want to move in the matchup, and you'll do fine for sure. Like y'all saw me right there. I did what it do. You know what I'm saying? I did what it do. So. Again, my goal when I'm shooting with my, and I don't have any setup, is just getting them low. If I can get their shield gone before they can really join up or link up with their team, or before my team, or maybe when they're running into like my team's trap, like I feel like I've done my job because without the shield, it's a lot easier for them to like to die, right? So as long as I did something right. And in an area like this, you know what I'm saying? All I have to do is get one good clear shot, and I could probably chunk that half. See, and this is one of the chunky dudes I'm talking about. Like, why they don't just sit on cargo point and just go turret and just start shooting shit is beyond me. Like, don't get me wrong, a lot of people are gonna focus you, but if your team is doing what they're supposed to be doing, like they're gonna get the big threats off of you, right? Or instantly kill the small threats. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. I get really frustrated when they don't understand, like, hey, you know, if your teammate's gonna do the right thing, if they're gonna focus the right objective, it shouldn't be too hard for you to sit and move the pylon. You know what I'm saying? It's what your mech does anyway. You're gonna sit down and fucking shoot your gun with infinite ammo anyway. Like, just like don't move unless you have like 5 HP, you know, and you don't have a healer, which again happens quite often. Like, what if I have a game with a healer on it, like the probability of winning is like a little bit better, especially if it's the one with the rings on its back. It's like what are we talking about? It's not even, and they're good. It's like it's not even a thing. It's no thing. I feel like this game mode is essentially just like capture the flag with an extra step. The extra step is you have to stay in the ring for like a X amount of time. I'm not gonna lie to you, because of how frail my Gundam is in particular. I try not to get the flag because it's a gigantic beacon to call people to shoot you, and I'm not about it. I'm not about it. I really don't want to deal with it. Especially if I'm not going to, especially if it's like more than one person, it's just like, it just doesn't seem very logical in my mind to go for it. But I'll cover my people who do take it, you know what I'm saying? I'll either follow them or I'm in an off angle ready to shoot, you know?
Drone deployed. Victory.
And get a good shot of the sandstorm in the back too. If the game goes on too long, you know, the sandstorm comes and it fucks up your ability to track and your ability to see who's who. So like, don't get me wrong, you can't shoot your teammates, but there have been instances where I've had teammates shoot at me and I'm just kind of like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you know your bullets are going through me, right?
MVP.
Useless to run when Falcon has its eyes on you.
I almost thought this was a Falcon that I was shitting on. I was like, what? How'd she get MVP when, like, literally every time I saw her, she was dying? Freaking weird. But anyway, on to the next sortie. But yeah, you know, like, as I go through the ranks, you know, I feel like I can see the glaring differences in all the ranks. And it's kind of cool to see, you know, the evolution of the gameplay. But, like, at the same time, boy, it can be really daunting, right? I can harken the... Oh, shit. You can see this is what I was talking about before. I love kind of just, like, when stuff like this happens where I just join in and it, like, everybody's already kind of moved. It's just, like, it's, like, so jarring just trying to get straight into the combat. I'm just kind of, like, almost lost a little because it's, like, I'm just bombarded. You know, my teammates aren't around and I'm just kind of like, what the hell is going on, you know? And then all of a sudden there is an enemy in my spawn and I'm like, dude, what the frick? Your frick? But yeah, like the rank climb can be a little daunting, especially when you get like I would say difficult teams where everyone's kind of just like doing their own thing. They're not really like covering each other, if that makes sense. Because again, when it comes to the higher ranks, it really, like, what really is gonna set people or like games apart are how much teamwork is involved, right? And for me personally, like, like I'm always automatically gonna either play for the objective or I'm going to play to cover like my people, right? That's just kind of what I feel like a sniper should do, is either make it really hard for the enemy to advance or, you know, create a really deadly defense, right? So, you know, that's what I'm gonna go for 9 times out of 10. But when I see my teammates kind of like playing it like it's a team deathmatch when there's an objective, I'm just kind of like, man, we need to get on the point. Like this, I should never, in my opinion, though this is, I believe this is uh, the enemy's pylon, right? I don't even really think I should be on the pylon in this to this degree, but it's a little BM never hurt. Cause again, like my Gundam's frail, right? So if like too many people jump me at one time, like this is really bad. But again, this just goes back to what I was saying earlier, right? He's not tanky, and he tried to 1v1 me with prep time, and he lost, right? But if it was a tankier dude, I'd be forced off here. So it makes more sense for the tankier people to kind of focus the pylon, right? But you know, again, they don't do it, or maybe they die too fast to where they can't set up, or which is weird because I wonder what mech is out there making it hard for the tanks to set up. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even like it's like a defender I'm talking about. Some of the offensive Gundams have a lot of defense. So it's, again, I just wonder who or what mech is out there really making it hard for them to play. I think it's this one melee type that I'm thinking about with that I was telling you that has the after image cuts and shit. That mech is crazy. Look at this finisher, bro. I saw this and I'm like, I kind of want to play that mech now. You know what I mean? Like, well, is this gonna be the next mech I play? But like, the thing about this mech that I don't like is that you can only like have it for 15 days or something like that, or like 7 days or something like that. So it's kind of annoying, like, cause they're interesting mechs, right? Maybe the only reason why there's a limited time on them is because they're not out fully yet, which is understandable, right? But like, I'd never try anything that has a time trial to it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't get the premiums to things and the ad-free versions of stuff, is because, well, the way I was raised and the time period I grew up in, I'm used to ads. I'm used to commercials. Like, you know what I mean? It was just an unescapable truth to my childhood. You know what I mean? And to be able to get past that through a paywall, in my mind, I just start laughing because it's like, well, they've now got you in this kind of like feedback loop, so that way you avoid something that was unescapable in the first place. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know, it's silly in my mind because there's no escaping it. You're just paying for a temporary fix. It's almost like the medical system, because again, they give you a lot of medications that only mask the symptoms while giving you other maybe more problematic side effects, you know, and then now you're stuck on that one thing that you bought and another thing to prevent some of the side effects to that one thing that you bought, right? So it get really screwy is what I'm trying to get at. Look, I'm getting chased down and there's only one thing on my mind, is that one guy that ran away from me. See, look, while I'm on this thing, my movement doesn't increase even though I'm not moving, and it doesn't cost me any movement to be on here. I was activating an ability. It makes no freaking sense. Now it's time to get back to doing what I do best, and that's nearly killing people.
Activates in 20 seconds.
Let's see if anybody pokes their head out. But again, at this point, like, they know of me, or they're aware of me, right? So they're definitely trying to stay safer, right? Which is smart, because again, even though it takes a little bit for Narukami to kill, it does hurt, right? And if the death timers do amount to something, right? They're not arbitrary by any stretch of the means. So especially near the end, like you, everybody's thinking about clutching up, right? So
Sneaking up for a backline ambush.
Enemy down.
dude, I'm telling you, again, like even though the matchup is in my opinion, in Falcon's favor, right? There are ways to get around it, and unfortunately, I couldn't reset fast enough to combat the other sniper, right? But look, I beat the counter matchup, and I'll take it, you know. And that Narukami did her job well. She picked off a straggler, right? And off of that battle, I was already low, so what could I do? But try to reset and help my team out. And off of that, I can kind of surmise that my team is kind of winning the push war right now. So again, all I have to do is reset around them and make the push a kind of a guarantee, and it should just, this game should just wrap itself up, right, in a great big bow. The time is right, and it's, by the time I'm recording this, it's pretty late in the night. So I'm trying to close my eyes, not open them, and you know, this game is pretty alright, you know. Where did that song originate from? Can anybody tell me the show? Put it in the comments down below, because that show is probably one of the best American shows that ever made, in my opinion. Cartoon shows. Let's see. I'm trying to get one more kill before the game ends, and it's looking to be a doozy. An assist, but you know, it's whatever. I'm wondering if that bubble that drops heals as well. I'm not too sure, because the one mech I was telling you about that I might actually main other than Arcami is a healer type, and you know, she's a healer type, but I don't see her doing much healing. I actually see her in the scuffles quite often, so I'm just curious on if that little ball that you guys see that just dropped is some sort of offensive and also defensive ability that she has. But again, I'm not too sure. And with that, you know, it looks like we've surmounted another dub on the board. Let's go. Yeah, but like throughout this grinds in ranks, right? It's just been battle after battle, and I can generally say every fight has been either very fun or very informative in one way or another, right? Again, not every game you have to be high impact. I actually realize the higher I go, the less kills people have, you know, and it's just intriguing to see that there is a difference, that not everything is necessarily about killing the opposition, right? And so yeah, this is probably going to be one of the last, or the last game in this reporting. So, you know, let's see what this final sortie has for us.
Moving in to provide cover. Fire control system unlocked.
Oh, and it's this map. Honestly, this map here is probably one of my top 3 favorites. Only because I kind of like it, because it reminds me of how in the anime they always talk about having a moon colony, and the moon colony always has like a gigantic dome around them. So like this kind of reminds me of like those random invasions of the moon colony, and the opposition getting through the getting into the moon colony via the dome, and then all of a sudden a gigantic Gundam battle ensues in the town, right? I just like that little cameo, that little nod to the anime, and like, you know, I just fuck with it heavy, so it's kind of why it's like one of my favorites. And see, I feel like, well, as I'm rewatching my gameplay, right, I always try to think of what could I be doing better in this situation. And as I'm seeing myself like kind of trying to find more targets, I'm thinking to myself, man, I should really fucking move. And as I say that, I literally get hit. I literally get hit. So it's like maybe like after every shot I do move more. Like I try to change location, but the only reason why my brain's telling me like maybe not is because it's so hard to find safe location, right? Even now, right? As I'm kind of for sure I've been in this location too long, so I should definitely move. But like my teammates here, I feel like I should be able to kind of like hold down, at least give him some assistance, right? Maybe get a kill, because this game mode specifically is about collecting kills. So my goal is clear, is to at least weaken enough people to where we can get the first round dub, right? And it's gonna be fairly easy, especially if they all focus me, right? Because I can be pretty elusive and pretty annoying to deal with. As you guys saw right there, a guy got on me, right? And I just played my game. I relied on my evasion, and I lived, and he died. I had 3 people, or 2 people to help me too. Felt pretty good. This is probably another quality team that I bump into. Just because, again, you saw how everybody played, right? They kind of played in everybody's line of sight. Damn, that shot was nasty. That shot was nasty. Like, again, that Narukami was already set up, saw me immediately, and was like, I'ma just eradicate you. But yeah, like, you know, that's probably like the biggest thing that to Narukami though, is that if she gets set up, she's just like this really annoying, really strong sniper. But if you have like her counter in the matchup or on your team, like, it's not that hard if they're good, right, for them to like flush out a Narukami. Like for me, I'm getting, like, obviously I'm a Narukami main, so I'm good at fighting Narukami too. There are a lot of instances where I shoot Narukami while she's invisible and force her to move. Like, it's not too hard to figure out where Narukami is, and I kind of want them to improve on that, especially with the dome, because it's like, why am I going to use something that openly gives away my location? Yeah, I'm invisible, but the dome's not invisible, so you go to the gigantic purple bubble and you see what the fuck's going on. You know what I'm saying? It's not rocket science. You know what I'm saying? I just genuinely wish they would fix that mechanic, because like I feel like that's so silly. Why is it visible? This is where I'm thinking, yep, move. Yeah, and that's GG's.
Victory.
Again, like, low impact game, but again, I just did what I had to do. I got people low. I made it easy for people to die, you know, and I kind of kept them from, you know, doing too many crazy things, right? And that can be all you really need to do to win the game. You know what I'm saying? This has been a fun game. If you guys like this, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.